Hello, adventurer. It's good to see you. You have made it to the morning grind.
Welcome, welcome.
It's the live stream at the beginning of the Geekverse, where we talk about all types of topics in geekdom, gaming, and fantasy, with an emphasis on being constructive and creating the things that we want to exist in the world.
It's all in the grind, Sizemore. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
That's exactly right. There are a lot of adventures to be had today. Dungeons to explore and monsters to slay, and who knows what a random encounter might send our way. That's why we have to prepare, so settle in now for the morning grind with your favorite beverage in hand.
Tea? Or maybe something a little stronger. I've got a few bottles of the old Wynyard left.
Whatever you want. Pull up a chair.
Dude.
If you're feeling fancy, how about a cappuccino? Or a frappuccino? Or how about an espresso?
Just tea, thank you.
Sounds good to me, Gandalf. Whatever you want. I'm just glad you're here.
Everyone is welcome. You can just watch if you want. You don't have to worship anything you don't want to worship.
Thank you, Mike. But be forewarned.
Sometimes we get really strange characters around here.
Wait, what's that you say? Why can't you come and be a part of the stream?
My wife would disown me.
Oh no, I bet she'll be fine with it. Come on in.
Am I scared for my safety? No.
What are we supposed to do?
Everybody do the secret handshake.
Secret cultist handshake.
Oh, now do wizards who love each other.
This, my friend, is a science.
I still don't have gifts, but it's fine.
It's all in the grind, son. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
Dude, this would be a sick place to bring the band.
Indeed it would be, Dave. It really would. I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Oh, look, here's someone new.
Is this the cultist meetup?
Yes it is.
Come to hang out? Please accept me. I have nothing else.
Okay, we accept you. Everyone's welcome here.
Brought some snacks.
Well, that makes things even better.
You want some coffee? I don't drink coffee. You sure?
It's cultist coffee.
What makes it cultist coffee? I'm a cultist and I'm drinking it. Oh. Then I'll have some.
What exactly is going on here?
I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome. It's so great to have you. Oh, and look, here comes another stranger.
Can we help you?
Yes, fellow cultists. I could really use some food.
Oh yeah? Welcome. We have donuts.
Oh, it's me. I'm glad I'm here. I'm sure you have a few questions for me, though.
What's your name? Who do you work for? What god do you worship?
Great questions, Rob.
I'm Steve King, and I worship Nyarlathotep.
No, not really. I'm just Heath, and I won't be worshiping anything this morning. But I will be your host. Welcome to the office. We're going to have a great time. I've got my coffee ready, because now it's time for the morning grind.
If you could become a fish, that would be amazing. Then I could command you with my mental fish powers.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning. I am sorry that I was so late getting started this morning. I'm sorry about that. I just was really dragging today and trying to get myself together to actually start a show here. So I'm sorry about that. But yes, I am here. Thank you for being here as well, even though things are a bit late. So people were just talking in the Discord server about a particular article that was up about D&D potentially being sold or having rights negotiated or something like that. So I haven't even read the article yet. I was like, oh, well, we can definitely talk about that online today. I just scrolled down. It doesn't look like a very long article. So we will take a look at that. And then I do have the Star Wars source book here from the West End Games that we can look at as well. I don't know. We might not go too long today because I've already started really late, but it is nonetheless really good to see everybody here. There's been a lot going on over here, and there was a lot going on last night. So good morning, Lynn. Good morning. We got James here. Wizards of the Tower says, first rule of thumb on the internet, don't trust or believe anything you read. Isn't that the truth? verify it with other sources. Roll for Combat just posted the same thing. Oh, I saw that somebody in the Discord server posted Roll for Combat's link, so I'll have to watch that later. I just posted the same thing, but took the info off of a Chinese site, so do not trust it. All right, well, we will see about that. I have not looked at it at all, so we'll see. So good morning, PH. Good morning. Oh, Sable says, oh yeah, I've watched some of the Wizard Tower videos. Let's see. All right, we'll get into all of that. All right. So anyway, hey, last night. So we'll look at that here in just one moment. We'll look at that story and we'll see what we think. Because like I said, I haven't even read it yet, so we'll just see. Last night we had an absolutely epic table talk. Last night was epic. We had Christopher Vogler on the show, and if you don't know Christopher Vogler, he is the guy who has written the book. He wrote the book, The Writer's Journey, and as a result, he's basically been the guy who has articulated the hero's journey and what the hero's journey is for writers, particularly screenwriters, but also novelists, but particularly screenwriters for the past 25 years. And then you may also know that Doug Burton, who is a frequent guest on the show, he has developed his theory of the heroine's labyrinth, which is, I think, a companion is a great way to phrase this, a companion to the hero's journey that often, an alternate story structure that often appears with feminine heroes. And so I was very glad to be able to host the conversation between Doug and Christopher Vogler last night. It went for about 2 hours. So the Vogler episode, it is up now. It was a fantastic discussion. So I hope everyone will go over there to the Table Talk channel. I was the first one that I intentionally, I believe, did not simulcast between here and the new Table Talk channel, because Table Talk, the channel has able to accept super chats now on its own, and so it's just kind of flying on its own now and become its own brand, and that's fantastic. Tomorrow, I'm talking with Matt Bird. Matt Bird is also is the author of The Secrets of Story, and that's tomorrow night at 7:00 p.m. And that is also going to be an incredible stream. I think Matt's philosophy of approach to understanding story and everything he wrote is excellent. It's one of the first books that I got on the subject and was recommended to me that I actually found was useful. I think it was actually the second one. I think I got it after. The first one was The Dynamic Story Creation by Maxwell Alexander Drake, but then go to Matt Bird with The Secrets of Story after that. So I'm really excited to be able to talk to him. And then on Sunday, my conversation with Doug and Brianna on Sleeping Beauty and Maleficent, we cover both stories, will air on Table Talk. So it's been a big week. Let's see. All right. So we're going to go over here. So this is the article over here. We're going to do our morning breath right here. But this is the article. Let me refresh. That people are talking about. So we'll load that one up next here. Why is my screen not working well for it? Okay. So we'll go right there in just a moment. So that's what's going on. And then if we need to, we can go on. If we have enough time, we'll go on to the source book as well. So let's go. Let me open up the books. I think we are just about done with Turning Pro. We could be very close to being done with Turning Pro by Stephen Pressfield. So let's breathe and sip. I know everyone was waiting for that. So everybody got your coffee this morning? I do, right here. I got Witch's Brew this morning. So let's do our breathe and sip. And let's breathe and sip. 2 deep breaths in through the mouth, out through the nose. Deep breaths, complete exhales, and then take a sip of your favorite beverage this morning. So here we go. The morning just isn't starting right until we've had our breathing and we've had our sip. All right, there we go. So, a model for the universe. This is Stephen Pressfield's Turning Pro. A model of the universe. I was having breakfast with my friend Rabbi Mordecai Finley of Or HaTorah congregation in Los Angeles. I wanted to ask him about the subject of resistance. Is there a parallel in Kabbalistic studies or Jewish mysticism? Here's part, I tape recorded it, of what he said. There's a second self inside of you, an inner shadow self. This self doesn't care about you. It doesn't love you. It has its own agenda, and it will kill you. It will kill you like cancer. It will kill you to achieve its agenda, which is to prevent you from actualizing yourself, from becoming who you really are. The shadow self is called, in the Kabbalistic lexicon, the Yetzer Hara. The Yetzer Hara, Steve, is what you would call resistance. In the Kabbalistic view of the world, the soul, Neshama in Hebrew, is the source of all wisdom and goodness. The Neshama seeks constantly to communicate to us, to our unconscious in the physical plane. The soul is trying to guide us, sustain us, restore us. But there is a force operating in opposition to the Neshama. This entity, the Yetzer Hara, is self-sustaining and cunning intelligence, whose sole aim is to block us from accessing the Neshama and to block the Neshama from communicating to us. The Gnostics and the Neoplatonists believe something very much like this. In both models of the universe, there was an upper realm in Plato's conceptualization, the realm of forms, of perfect beauty, justice, truth, and so on, and a lower sphere where we mortals dwelt. In Jewish mysticism, there's a positive force that opposes the Yetzer Hara. Above every blade of grass, says the Kabbalah, hovers an angel extorting, grow, grow. What program did these ancients put forward as a means to ally with the positive forces and overcoming the negative? According to Rabbi Finley, it was a code called Musar. Musar. All right, so we will take a look at that tomorrow. Let's see here. All right. Morning breath. Yes, we all have our morning breath here. All right. Sable says, oh, hey, this looks like where you got the description of resistance in the War of Art from. Almost verbatim, looks like. Could be. Okay, let's go over to whatever that article was right over here. Let me bring that up. So this is what people were talking about in the Discord server. So it says, so this is from Pan Daily. I mean, I don't know anything about Pan Daily. So I guess this is what we're talking about being a Chinese website. I guess this is a Chinese website. Is that the case? Because I don't know anything about us. Pan Daily is a Beijing-based media company equipped with a deep understanding of China's technology landscape and the unicorns that drive its innovation. Our mission is to deliver premium content with contextual insights on Chinese technology, business, sports, and culture to a world. So they do online English content as well. So that's who. That doesn't tell us a whole lot, but okay, that's who they are. I believe this one came after the War of Art. So Hasbro seeks to sell IP D&D and has preliminary content with Tencent. Now, I also don't know who Tencent is. Speed Daily exclusively learned. Well, who is Speed Daily? And it seemed like you guys knew Tencent much more than I did. Oh, this is... Okay. So that looks like that's in Chinese. Speed Daily exclusively learned the American toy company Hasbro is seeking to sell its well-known IP Dungeons & Dragons, referred to as D&D below, and Tencent is one of the potential buyers. At present, the negotiations are still in the early stages, and both parties have not yet reached an agreement on the details of the transaction. So, okay. We talked about whether or not we even thought that Hasbro might sell. Did we talk about selling Wizards in general, or did we just talk about selling Dungeons and Dragons? At present, the negotiations, I guess it would make sense for them to want to keep Magic right now. Tencent is like Apple for China. Tencent is a huge Chinese firm. They invest in a lot of tech. According to informed sources, the financial crisis faced by Hasbro is the main reason for considering the sale of D&D, and Tencent investment Lauren Studios is acting as an intermediary for this transaction. Lauren Studios games Baldur's Gate 3 won the TGA Game of the Year award in 2003 and is considered by one of the most and is considered one of the most successful adaptations of D&D. As a result, it was seen as a potential target buyer by Hasbro. However, due to insufficient funds, Lauren ultimately introduced this deal to shareholder Tencent. Hasbro was founded in 1923 and has a history of over 100 years. In 1935, the company gradually became a world-class toy company with its Monopoly series games. It owns well-known IPs such as Transformers, Dungeons & Dragons, Monopoly, My Little Pony, Magic the Gathering. However, this century-old enterprise is facing a huge crisis due to losses. Its stock prices dropped from a high of $108 in 2019 to $51, well, closing in January the 26th. According to a financial report, as of the third quarter of 2023, Hasbro has been experiencing consecutive losses for 4 quarters due to its main business of toy sales. The accumulated loss from quarters 2022 to third quarter 2023 exceeds 500 million USD, and in second quarter 2023, there was even a negative free cash flow situation. According to Forbes reports, in response to the crisis, the company underwent significant layoffs last year with a total reduction of over 1,900 employees, which we talked about at the time, accounting for more than 20%. Although the company as a whole is in a loss situation, its D&D related IP is a high-quality asset and has achieved considerable success in video game adaptations. Last year, the release of Baldur's Gate 3 by Lauren Studios was both critically acclaimed and commercially successful. It not only won 6 TGA awards, including the Game of the Year, but also generated revenue of $657 million, surpassing the Harry Potter IP adaptation game Hogwarts Legacy. Oh, whoa! It surpassed Hogwarts Legacy? It seems like I saw a lot more stuff about Harry Potter than I did about Baldur's Gate 3. But that could just be what the YouTube algorithm is feeding me. I saw tons of people who are playing Hogwarts Legacy, making it the most profitable PC game last year. The success of Baldur's Gate 3 is also reflected in the financial data of Hasbro. The financial report showed in the third quarter of 2023, driven by Baldur's Gate 3 and another Monopoly IP called Monopoly Go, Hasbro's electronic gaming and licensing related businesses achieved a contrary year-on-year growth of 40%, reaching 423 million. Outside of electronic games, D&D is also one of the most popular tabletop games in Europe and America. It's appeared on multiple times in American TV shows such as The Big Bang Theory and Stranger Things. A large fan base is formed around its related culture, making it a top-tier IP. The Tencent IEG Interactive Entertainment Group insider revealed that Tencent, represented by its overseas business department IEG Global, is in negotiations with the aim of acquiring a series of rights, including the adaptions rights for electronic games such as D&D. Which that doesn't sound like a sale right there. I think people were saying that in the Discord server as well. Negotiations with the aim of acquiring a series of rights, including the adaptation rights for electronic games such as D&D. That doesn't necessarily seem like a sale to me. So, PHB says Tencent is one of the biggest game producers in the world. And if Tencent gets D&D, the LOL campaign book may make a return. Sable says Tencent owns at least part of a ton of software companies, especially mobile game companies. It's all over video games. See, I'm not in the video game world. I guess that's why I don't know it. Yeah, a series of rights that could mean anything. Tencent is a big part of the reasons that loot boxes and gacha mechanics are so pervasive in the games industry. PH Arbic says, I saw a video a couple of weeks ago talking about that as predictions that Hasbro is in bad shape and potentially could sell the IP to Lauren Studios, and it would be great because they would just love it. Well, it would be great to eventually get IP back in the hands of people who absolutely love them and do well with that particular IP, but that doesn't seem like the way the world goes. According to the aforementioned IEG insiders, Tencent currently holds the game adaptation rights for many top-tier IPs. However, due to the licensing model mostly not being a one-time buyout, Tencent Tencent not only needs to bear high copyright fees and long-term revenue sharing, but also frequently faces restrictions from its partners in terms of development and operation. Previously, the mobile game adaptation of Nier, Nier, developed by Tencent Timmy Studio, was unable to be launched even until the project was canceled. If the acquisition were successful, it will enable Tencent to gain dominant control over the IP of Dungeons and Dragons, which will largely avoid the aforementioned issues. I'm tired of having all the things that I love being in the hands of gigantic companies. Companies in Europe and America, once they go, they never come back. It seems like. Companies in Europe and America attach great importance to the value of intellectual property, while Chinese companies have limited opportunities to acquire top-tier IP from overseas. For Tencent, the opportunity to acquire Dungeons & Dragons IP from Hasbro due to financial considerations is a rare chance. Well, I guess we'll just have to see what happens there. But this last for the ability the opportunity to acquire Dungeons & Dragons IP from Hasbro due to financial considerations is a rare chance. That one is what you're talking about, James? Or this one up here. Films like Warcraft, King Kong, Skull Island, Bumblebee, Wonder Woman, Venom, just off the top of my head. Oh, wait. They have Tencent Pictures as well, which is invested in many of the films you've heard of, if not watched, for the past 10 years, like Warcraft, King Kong, Skull Island, Bumblebee, Wonder Woman. Yeah. Well, I guess we'll just have to see. So there seemed like in here the ability to be kind of with wishy-washy on what exactly they were doing, whether it was a purchase or whether it was some type of rights negotiation or something like that. So I guess we'll just have to see. If we see more information of it, do post it on the Discord server, and we'll keep following. I might go over to see what Roll for Combat says later, although I got a lot I've got to do today. It's not like I don't always, but I'll look into it. But if there are other things that come up about it, we can definitely talk about it here on the channel, especially if there's more information. Let's get this going. Let's see, how are we doing here on time? Of course, we're way behind on time, but we'll take a look at the source book for just a moment. We will go ahead and see what's in it. This could be really an amazing book here. The original source book for Star Wars, the West End games. We've talked about how important it was in the context of the development of Star Wars. Because it was used as like a Bible by Timothy Zahn, and a lot of material about the Star Wars universe was kind of generated from this. Let's see. Robert says there are millions of gamers plugged into D&D's websites. It's questionable the Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States would allow this. Look at how the government is targeting TikTok. Oh, Tencent owns TikTok too? Oh, yeah. All right, so let's see. What does the source book say? So this book says on the back, revealed for the first time, discover the technical and natural wonders of the fantastic Star Wars saga. There are sleek starfighters that clash with mile-long star destroyers, filling the void with streaks of laser fire and blasting wrecks. Here are the armored-clad stormtroopers battling desperate rebels across the galaxy. Here are detailed descriptions of the bizarre aliens, devastating weapons, amazing droids, courageous heroes, and cunning villains of the Star Wars universe. Clear explanations and illustrations show how everything works, from lightsabers, the elegant Jedi weapon, to repulsor lifts that defy gravity. Stories, maps, charts, and much more highlight the extraordinary guide to Star Wars, the great space fantasy of all time. It says, over 120 illustrations and photographs from the Star Wars archives. many never before published before. Maps of rebel outposts and imperial garrisons, plus the posters. Hey, God, I am having trouble reading again this morning. I had no problem until I sat down and picked up this book. Of their equipment and personnel. Technical manual for the X-Wing Starfighter. Let's see. Dossiers on Darth Vader, Boba Fett, Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, Han Solo, and the other heroes and villains. Plans of the Millennium Falcon, blasters and lightsabers, how they work and how to get them. All right, yes, I would have absolutely loved this book as a kid. So let's start here and let's start. A long time ago in a galaxy afar, far away, the Great Rebellion burns across the vast reaches of space. In its rebellion against the tyranny, against oppression, it is a rebellion against tyranny, against oppression, against the evil monster which the Empire has become. In the rebellion, the pitifully few valiant men, women, and aliens known as the Alliance wage a desperate war against the overwhelming armies and ships of the Emperor, ruler of 1,000,000 worlds. Outnumbered and outgunned, the rebels fight on, and with them only their great courage and their mystical power known as the Force offer even the slimmest hope of victory. This is the galaxy of the rebellion. It's the galaxy of wondrous aliens, bizarre monsters, strange droids, powerful weapons, great heroes, and terrible villains. It's the galaxy of fantastical worlds, magical devices, vast fleets, awesome machinery, terrible conflict, and threatening and unending hope. It is the galaxy of Star Wars. Well, that's pretty cool. Is this one in color? The other one had color pages in it, so I would say this one is not in. This one's got blueprinting in here, but it's not a full color book. In fact, this one doesn't look like it has any full color pages in it. So what is in this book? Let's see. Chapter 1, General Spacecraft Systems. Chapter 2, Starfighters. Chapter 3, Combat Starships. Chapter 4, Space Transports. Chapter 5, Droids. Chapter 6, Repulsor Vehicles. Chapter 7, Imperial Ground Assault Vehicles. Chapter 8, Aliens. Chapter 9, Creatures. Chapter 10, General Equipment. Chapter 11, Lightsabers. Chapter 12, Stormtroopers. Stormtroopers get their own chapter here. Chapter 13, Rebel Bases. Chapter 14, Imperial Garrisons. Chapter 15, Heroes and Villains. Star Wars Galaxy, the Star Wars source book. Let's see. So how does this set up? Now, actually, are there going to be game rules in here? Oh yeah, okay. So there are actually game rules in here. I was like, now wait a minute, was this just purely a source book, or does it also include game stats? So it contains some. Like for instance, right here, when we've got the Mon Calamari Star Cruiser right here, I am seeing the West End Games dice codes in here. So it does have that. Might be stats and rules light, but it's in here. Oh, there it is. Twilix in chapter 8. So James was saying this is the first encounter of the first time that word was used. 81. Okay. Right here. Let's see. So Star Wars source book. Okay, hyperdrive. So we talk about hyperdrives here and sublight drives, armament and shields. We've got a description of laser and blaster cannons. Let's see. It says the terms laser and blaster are synonyms, except that blaster usually implies a smaller, lighter weapon. So, turbo lasers. Heavy ship-mounted laser weapons require immense amounts of power to cut through shields and armor and military craft and to penetrate planetary defenses. To generate this power, turbo lasers are equipped with turbine generators and banks of capacitors to build up and store energy necessary to make a very powerful laser pulse. Because of the time needed to build up the energy, turbo lasers usually have a lower rate of fire than normal lasers, but deliver a bigger punch. Turbo lasers are strictly registered. In theory, only the Empire, sector, or local governments can construct or mount such weapons. We've got ion cannons here. Let's see. Sable says, say what you will about Star Wars names. Their starship design and manufacturing company names are absolutely stellar. Sinar Fleet Systems, Kuat Drive Yards, Incom Corporation. It would be interesting to note. So Twi'lek, did anybody have I wish I had those scripts. I've said that before. I wish I could find them. It would be neat to see if that word was actually said in the scripts. Let's see. Ion cannon. When a commander wishes to render an enemy harmless rather than destroying him all outright, ion weapons are employed. High energy localized particles, when fired with sufficient strength, can wreak havoc with the more sophisticated electronics and control of starships. These weapons are used primarily by planetary and system defense forces, who are often more concerned with driving off or deterring an enemy than defeating him. Ships use ion cannons to disable the enemy, then use their other more lethal weapons to finish him off. Ion weapons allow pickets and fleet vessels to capture enemy vessels with relatively minor damage. Proton and concussion weapons. Proton torpedoes, concussion missiles, and bombs have become the primary surface attack weapons of light space forces. This is because even small vessels, such as the Z-95 Headhunter and the TIE Bomber, can carry these weapons to deliver them accurately from low altitudes, flying at great speeds, allowing little time for point systems to react. Unlike heavier space bombardment by turbo lasers mounted in immense star destroyers, these weapons are effective against ray and energy shielded targets. Now, here it uses those terms, ray and energy shielded targets. The rules didn't, we were talking about yesterday, I brought up, didn't actually ever specifically state different kinds of shields. We just had just shields in general. It didn't bring up with whether or not we were using ray or energy shields. Complete particle ray and energy targets, effective against ray and energy targets. Complete particle shielding will deflect proton torpedoes, however. So it does say it right here. So ray and energy shielding, that sounds like it's the same thing, but complete particle shielding will deflect proton torpedoes, however. Proton torpedoes carry a proton scattering energy warhead. Concussion weapons, both missile and bombs, carry an armor-piercing warhead contained in a compact energy pack. When they explode, such weapons give off powerful concussive blasts, which disrupt delicate instruments and equipment and cause shock and blast to more durable targets. So I wonder if they just decided that it'd be too complicated to get into both particle and ray shielding in the rules. Oh, so according to Wikipedia, the name Twi'lek was not spoken in any Star Wars film and was first mentioned by the Star Wars Legends 1987 West End Games publication, the Star Wars Sourcebook. Huh. So Wikipedia confirms. So let's see what it says about shields here. There are two types of shields, particle shields and ray or energy shields. Both are needed for complete protection, and generally all military ships are equipped with shields of both types. Particle shielding provides protection against missiles and space debris, but it must be temporarily turned off if the vessel wishes to fire missiles of its own, or to launch or to release shuttlecraft. Okay, so in the Star Wars universe, you can't fire through your own shields. You can't fire through your own particle shields, at least. So those have to be disabled to fire missiles or to launch shuttlecraft. Ray or energy shielding protects strictly against lasers or other energy beams. It does not stop matter. Ray shields require large amounts of energy to maintain. Most vessels only employ them when they are going into combat. Since this shielding is only useful in combat, its application is somewhat restricted. Non-Imperial vessels must apply for permits to carry ray or energy shielding and must show the cause they need for it. Fear of privacy is usually enough to secure standard permission. So we've got sensors in here, common military sensor types, electrophoton receptors, full spectrum transceivers, dedicated energy receptors, crystal grav field traps, life form indicators. Life form indicators aren't actually sensors. They're sophisticated computer programs which examine the output of other sensors to determine if a life form is present, and if so, what life form it is. For example, an FST sensor might determine that there is a mobile heat source outputting at least 30 degrees Celsius on the spaceship. The source mass is at 80 kilograms. The ship's atmosphere contains large amounts of sulfur, and the ship's gravity is set to 96 standard. An LIF program could examine the data and determine the ship's probably contains a Celestian. The quality of the ship's LFI are determined by the sensitivity of the ship's sensors to the intelligence of the computer. And the intelligence of the computer. We got cloaking systems right here. Sensor countermeasures include jamming, sensor decoys, sensor stealth, and cloaking devices. The ultimate sensor countermeasure. A cloaking device is an experimental shield which creates subtle warp in the fabric of space surrounding the vessel, causing all forms of energy to slip around the ship as if it weren't there, making the ship practically invisible. Exact specifications and technical details of cloaking devices are among the most highly classified secrets of the Empire. Cloaking devices are also extremely rare. They're among the most sophisticated and complicated devices known. Only a few skilled engineers can operate and maintain them. They are not in general production. Each must be custom built to a specific ship. In addition, cloaking devices are normally expensive, reported over 1 billion credits apiece. Clearly, only large companies or governments can afford them. The Empire has declared cloaking devices illegal, Class 1 contraband. Unauthorized manufacture, sale, purchase, or use of a cloaking device are crimes punishable by death. Because of the expense and difficulty of maintenance, very few Imperial ships are equipped with cloaking devices. It's rumored that the Emperor's personal shuttle has one, and perhaps a new experimental Star Destroyer. No Rebel ships are known to be equipped with cloaking devices. Andrew says, "Good morning. I remember to like your stream without prompting. This is a sign today will be good." Oh, well, thank you. And if you haven't liked the stream, please do. Sable says, "I bet this is the first time the Z95 is mentioned too." I could be. We got life support systems right here. Escape equipment, ejection seats. Oh, is this when did they come up with how you can eject from an X-wing in here? Small 1 and 2 man transport vehicles and light starfighter class vessels use a standard ejection seat escape system. The ejection seat system relies greatly on the passenger's use of full environmental flight suit, and even then, survival in deep space is unlikely without immediate rescue. Ideally, ejection systems work best when the craft is in a planet's atmospheric field. Crash-worthy seats contain built-in oxygen recirculators and heating elements that connect directly to the flight suit. Anti-grav units safely lower ejected seats to the ground. Only crew members wearing environmental flight suits with their helmets sealed can hope to survive ejection into space. These seats contain 24-hour oxygen recirculation and heating element, but even so, few pilots survive if they aren't picked up in a few hours. Most survivable ejections occur outside ship hangars or in atmospheres near a base when a pilot's ditch fighters that are too damaged to land safely, for example. In such cases, the anti-grav unit powered by a Belanti repulsor lift engine lowers the seal onto the strongest nearby gravity source, whether it's the ship or a planet's surface. Even under the best conditions, the anti-grav unit's range is limited to about 500 kilometers. So there you go. Hey, good morning, Brent. No, I like Daniel says, of course no known rebel ships have a cloaking device because you couldn't find them. That just tells you that the cloaking devices are all working because you don't know of any of them. Escape pods here, and then we go into, okay, so right here, the Z95 Headhunter is right here. Z95 Starfighter right here. Despite initial delays and cost overruns, the Z95 Headhunter became one of the most successful military spacecraft of all time. The collaboration between the two leading spacecraft firms, Incom Industries and Subpro Corp, this agile, compact, twin-engine fighter has proven amazingly versatile, spawning hundreds of specialized and improved models. Notable Z95 variants include the Z95ER, extended range, Z95ML, missile launch platform, Z95C4D, ground support bomber, and Z95XT, twin-seat trainer. Although it's no longer manufactured and is now a generation out of date, more Headhunters remain in service than any other starfighter. They serve in constabularies, customs and other anti-smuggling agencies, planetary defensive forces, and reserve fleets. So we do have all of our stats on the Z95 Starfighter over here. This right here, this is like the A-wing right here. Yeah. And the A-wing. All right. I think we should take a look at Starfighter starting tomorrow. We are going to move on to some other things right here, but this has been a very enjoyable series. So I will try to do better about getting about starting on time tomorrow. We will see. But I'm going to have to get out of here because I've got some other things that are going on. I hope that constabulary. Yes, thank you. I was putting the emphasis in the wrong place. I knew I was. Constabulary. Oh yeah, so don't forget to, PH says don't forget to check out Baldur's Gate 3 behind the scenes. Okay, I will try to do that. So, all right, I'm going to get out of here because there are things to do. Brianna and I are working this afternoon. So I will see everybody tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. Go forth, be creative, be constructive, and grind on. Later, everybody.